thank you very much for coming, and very glad to be here. And also, this time, my first time to doing the master program, not master program, basic program. Maybe it can transform in a master program. Who knows? So anyway, hello. And very glad to serve at PMT. Lama Yishi and Lama Zopa Rinpoche and Lama Lundup, all of those great beings, since I was a tiny, they take care of me very well. It's time to came to be repaying the kindness. So basically, serving the Dharma, serving you people, is just the wish serves for them. So therefore, this time to get opportunity to do the basic program, which is, I think in the long term, this will be very good to rooting the Buddha Dharma, not just kind of superficial level, but to really to rooting the Buddha Dharma in the mental continuum, in the heart. So therefore, this program, able to do this program, very happy. Now, of course, there's a one problem that my English is my English is not that very good. I hope you will all understand. But it is original in Kopan, 1974, where I started my English first time. This is in Kopan. Most of that time the teachers are like long beard, the November Coast, all the hippies. So anyway, my English have this kind of flavor. I never been a really formal way to went to school and studied, just learned in Kopan. So again, this is the topic. Today I'm going through to just look around the terminology. Some terminologies are very hard to pronounce, so I'll try my best. So this is the one thing. Then at the beginning, I want to do the praise for Shakyamuni Buddha. The reason this whole Buddha Dharma teaching is rooted in a Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching. So therefore, I think it's very wonderful to reflect Buddha Shakyamuni's kindness and his quality of body, speech, and mind. So reflecting for that. So first we're going to do the praise for Shakyamuni Buddha. Before that, I want to do a short meditation. The meditation requires that if you have a deeper understanding of a concept of a Buddha nature, then I think at the first, Buddha Shakyamuni as an ordinary being, and based on his own effort and diligence, able to transform from ordinary to extraordinary, even become enlightened being. So therefore, some kind of like a transformation. The meditation, basically, the first meditation should be like there is a something that if we able to make some effort, can we make a change in our life? Even change can go more further to obtain into enlightenment or becoming cause of enlightenment. And so this kind of reflection, first we'll do short reflect on that, and then after that we'll do the praise for Shakyamuni Buddha in the Tibetan. The first we'll just do the 3 times. Okay. Okay. Dömba jom den den de jin shemba da jomba yang da ban zo ben sang ge jing ban da sha zun den ban de wan shek ba ji den ken bo ki bo ndu ka nun yu ma la na me ba la da min am gi dum ba sang ge jom den de ben ya won shan yan tu ma na chan zen nun shun du yan zun ji wu dun ba chum den de shen she ma dan jum ba yan Shembo Jiden Kembo Kibunduwa Kalun Yumba Lana Memba Lana Minam Yitemba Zangi Chum Dende Penyawan Shanyan Dumbana Chazenu Chundu Kyazunje Untumba Chum Dende Dejen Jemba Jumba Damban Zombe Sange Shembada Shazundemba Devan Sheba Jiden Kemba Ngevandu Kanun Yumba Lana Memba Lada Menam Ye Tumba Zange Chum Dende Embenyawan Shanyan Dumbana Chanzanun Chundun Yamzunyu. The next, before we go to recite the Heart Sutra, particularly this time I chose the Heart Sutra mantra, again, I will suggest to doing meditation in emptiness, particularly this time, trying to meditate emptiness of self, I, over here we feel I am here to study, I am here to meditate. There's something that we, although maybe intellectually we don't feel it is something that not depending in cause and condition, but in our feeling, emotionally, maybe we feel something inherently existing, non-dependent in cause and condition, everlasting, this kind of feeling. That feeling, from the philosophical point of view, we call innate grasping. So anyway, at this time, to gate, going, and further going, if we are able to want to really liberate in our own self, first we have to negate the obstacle, the misunderstanding of a reality of our own self, this environment, the subject that we're going to study, all these kind of things to empty of inherently existing. So once we're able to clear the dust in the mirror, that we can see clearly, the object, whatever, reflect inside there. So therefore, this time, short meditation in emptiness of self and emptiness of a phenomena. Basically, trying to reflect things are merely exist impurely, or just based on the cause and conditions something exists. There's nothing inherently or independent or truly existing. So as much your potential, your knowledge, your wisdom you can apply for that meditation, that is the antidote to clarifying the obstacles. You know, the reason, anytime the teaching, when we do, there's a reciting the Heart Sutra. It is that the reason doing the Heart Sutra is to clarify the obstacle, internal obstacle and external obstacle. Of course, the external obstacles are also rooted in the internal obstacle. Internal obstacle is the misunderstanding of a reality. Through that, all the problem of the personal life and all the problem of the planet and the universe is arise from there. And so therefore, basically, it is a simple method, powerful method. So therefore, we'll do short meditation. Then after that, we're going to recite the Heart Sutra mantra 7 times together. Daya da ga de bara para sanga de bude sowa. Daya da ga de bara sanga de bude sowa. Nimbunde Zova Dayana Gade Gade Parangade Parazangade Bunde Sova Dayana Gade Gade Parangade Parazangade Bunde Sova Tayanda Gade Gade Paragade Parazangade Bunde Zo. Now the next is the mandala offering. Now this concept of this, why we are going to do a mandala offering, the reason is Buddha himself mentioned in the sutra, without individual person's interest, teaching of a Buddha Dharma is not appropriate. So therefore, in Buddhism, concept of converting is not right. So therefore, it have to be individual person's interest to listen, to study, to meditate. Imposing on it is absolutely wrong. So therefore, the mandala offering is basically symbolic of that. I'm interested to listen, I'm interested to study, and I'm interested to meditate. So basically, it shows the symbolic of faith. The earlier time we did the reciting or meditation in Heart Sutra on the emptiness, which is symbolic of wisdom. Now this time, mandala offering which is symbolic of faith. In a Dharma practice, wisdom and faith have to go side by side. Wisdom only, if we run so further, without help or support by faith, we never get answer. We might fall in a further doubt, further question and question. So therefore, to wisdom become much more, reasonable, we need to have a method support, and this time in particularly the method, the faith. So basically, mandala offering is symbolic of a faith, and at this time, basically, from my point of view, for me, I basically went through all those 70 topic subject on 70 topic. Went through a study in a monastery. Maybe it's like 8 years, and the tradition it study is not only that you learn only the concept and so on and so forth. It's have a process of accumulating lots of merit, lots of purification practice, each subject to study. So basically, it carries such a strong lineage of a bless. So for myself, I have a confidence that I have the blessing of the teaching. I'm not very sure that I have the realization, pretty much no realization, but definitely there's the blessing of that 70 topic, which is Maitreya's text of Vaibhi Samaya Alamkara. And that bless, there's no doubt. I've carried through with the accumulation of a merit and also purification with together. So when we look for this kind of system in the West in these days, Of course, all of you, life, your personal life, you have, hold your working, but still you're giving time for Dharma study and Dharma practice. It is very, very marvelous. It's very precious. So, but at the same time, also we shouldn't forget the accumulation of a merit and practicing of a purification, which is purpose of, to study of a Dharma practice, purpose of any wisdom that you gain to become effective for your transforming your own mind and becoming, of course, more genuine person, wonderful person, peaceful person, compassionate person, so and so forth. So therefore, basically mandala offering is symbolic of a faith. Now, for me, any time when I receive mandala offering, basically, I myself, visualizing all my gurus and teachers who passed all those blessings, basically, kind of like taking those mandala and offering for them. This is what I do, and also usually not the person. The mandala offering is not but the person. The person carry whichever the blessing. The offering is supposed to be for that. This is the another way to think about it, this activity. So then usually you see this kind of, it looks like torma. But the golden torma. Anyway, just symbolic of a mount mirrors and the continents. All the, through the visualization, like you're offering from your mind, offering all the universe. Again, also this is also historically, in the Tibet, in India, also those great yogis and practitioners, when they're trying to receive the Dharma, they made such a very, not with a very easy way. It's went through really difficult things that made, I say, to get the Dharma teaching, they are willing to sacrifice everything, anything. So let go anything. And so this offering of a universe is, I think, is kind of a symbolic of that. So basically, it's offering of a universe is telling that it's priceless. The Dharma, the Buddha's teaching is kind of like priceless. So basically, this is the symbolic of that. And then, of course, the offering of a body and speech and mind is basically symbolic of the Guru's body may live forever, speech may live forever, and heart, body and speech and mind may remain forever. For symbolic for that, we're offering body and speech and mind. Okay, so next we'll do the mandala offering, and at that time, of course, in this time, we'll meditate all our gurus, lineage guru and root gurus in front of us, and based on this kind of merit field, we're going to make a mandala offering. Shale Bono Zambole No Balanje Jandamenye Ludan Lubang Ayadang Ayavje Yunden Dalam Jodun Daminyen Daminyen Yeda Rinpoche Reum Basam Yeshin Dunjim Mame Bailundun Gulu Rinpoche Nobu Rinpoche Sumo Rinpoche Rambu Rinpoche Rinpoche Mabe Rinpoche Mabe Rinpoche Deje Bayi Gumba Nyemanda Manu Mangama Medamandu Buma Nangzema Ndinjama Nyemanda Warimboje Ndu Chole Namba Yave Yanze Uzuladami Benjum Benzum Zoba Mazan Wa Meba Sanji Yidu Deda Rinjen Zawada Gyuba Jebe Bane Lama Damba Namna Kebara Duyan Yonden Lama Dambil Ozang Yindim Bezambu Jengan Bajembu Zonju Samoju Yun Shingambu Wangi Utujendu Vendunu Jesuzo Shenena Zundu Amanyu Tadanyam Bezenjen Anjela Tuzen Wachembun Gonin Chingi Nandu Sanjimbungi Kenzen Chinda zambe dujenze mana saimge chugi cham hamdu su Traditionally, after the mandala offering, we used to do the refuge in bodhicitta. Now, in one way, the reason why doing that, the activity, what we are going to do in a follow, is to become the Buddhist activity. It have to be held by practice of refuge. Without that, that activity or this study doesn't becoming, although it's a topic, is the Buddhist idea, I don't know how to say, but in the mind, if we don't have to take feeling, taking refuge to the Buddha and the Dharma and Sangha, then following activities doesn't become as a Buddhist activity. It's not basically to able to have a blessed by Buddha and the Dharma and Sangha, and also to activities is whatever we're going to do is the aim to future that in our own self able to obtain the enlightenment, the Buddhahood, able to showing for another people the actual Dharma and becoming encouragement for another people. So this kind of purpose also the reason why we're going to do refuge. And then also doing the bodhicitta, refuge in bodhicitta. Particularly in doing the bodhicitta is just the kind of like a correcting the motivation that why we are doing this. This is doing based on if you're trying to do it based on in self-cherishing, it's not becoming appropriate. So at this time, meditation in a refuge in bodhicitta is trying to as a reinforcing for us to correct the motivation, and it is not to enhancing our egotistic mind, is to enhancing our compassion, our respect towards for another living being. So this kind of reason, the meditation in a refuge and a bodhicitta becomes very, very important. It is kind of, in one way, it is kind of like correcting motivation. In one way, it is making sure that we are, again, the subject that what we are going to discuss is the Mayana subject. To person who are going to study the Mayana subject, to become Mayanas, we have to change our mental attitude. Basically, based on the meditation and the compassion, we have to do the meditation in the bodhicitta. Meditation in the bodhicitta or enlightened mind is basically there's a strong desire, a very healthy desire to obtain the enlightenment. Purpose of helping for another, helping for yourself, of course, helping for also for another living being. So therefore, from that reason, refuge and bodhicittas becomes very commonly after the mandala offering, then refreshing the motivation. It's kind of like that. So before we recite the refuge and bodhicitta, of course, we do short meditation. For refuge, basically, we have to visualize at the front of your space, refuge field, that if you have a familiarity of a practice of a Jorchu, then you can, this time, is pretty much same. Visualizing in front of your space, refuge field in the center, aspect of Buddha Shakyamuni, and in nature as your guru, and is surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Very simple, based on that. And you're yourself, facing towards the refuge field, and surrounded with a sentient being who are suffer by three types of suffering, and also those kind of suffering is related by, causes by karma and delusion. In seeing all those situations, that you are the kind of like a leading sentient being, taking a refuge towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And not only that, you want to help the surrounding sentient being to liberate. So therefore, you want to also obtain the Guru Buddhahood or enlightenment. So this kind of true meditation becomes based on that. Then when we recite I take a refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, it becomes very powerful. And so therefore, first we do the short meditation. Then after that, we will read the English refuge. I'll take a refuge until I'm this one time. Then we'll do the Tibetan. We'll do 2 times. So first we'll do the short meditation. Okay. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dhammas, and Sangha by the positive potential created by listening the Dhamma. May I attain the Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Chudam Tsungye Chunam La Chanjum Bandu Daining Yam Zunje Dangin Chunyen Gim Dunam Pinjam Sangye Dumashu Sangye danzungi chunan chanju bandu dani kyarunj dangi jenye yembe nangi rolam benje zangi dumanshu. Okay. In Tibet and also in India, in a monastery, how we study this 70 topic. I want to just give you some how students they study in the East. First of all, we memorize the Abhisamaya Alamkara, the root text. This is like a very popular monks and students to memorize the Maitreya's Abhisamaya Alamkara. They have 8 chapters, and also Chandakirti's engaging in the middle way, which is basically in a topic in a wisdom in emptiness. These two are, if you want to become to study the philosophy, everybody they will memorize this. Then, particularly to support the understanding of Abhisamaya Alamkara, then additional that, then each commentary with the different scholars have an organized way. So in the Sera, where I study in the Sera monastery, Sera J, we have the author of each the text was Jitsumba, and he composed the main subject of Abhisamaya Alamkara in Tön like 70 topic in definition and one by one definition and how to which topic is related in which bhumis and which stages. So that kind of commentary also students will going to memorize that. So the root text, the 72 commentary in the 70 topic, these two kind of like a kind of student prepare this to memorize in the mind, So then go to the teacher and having teaching and also blessing. But then they go to in a debating courtyard, and then I say, to trying to go more deeper, to understanding to more deeper. So therefore. Then, of course, this is different. They have it's just like concentrated study. So therefore, people giving whole 24 hours on that reason, for that purpose. So therefore, way of studying is different than what's happening in the West. Now when we come back to the West, then I think I can see this like two categories. People who have like your own life in the conventional world, but still giving determination to study for you, maybe I think, keeping notes and listening on the tapes on and again will become kind of like a part of the memorization. If you have like more time, then I think it's important to really, mm, if you can memorize, I think it's the best. But if you can't memorize, it's very important that in your mind to get some kind of conclusion of each topic, each of the topic, a definition of that. Able to, without looking in your notes, without you looking in your laptops, without those instrument, laptop in over here, then I think it's good, because in the meditation, so many, most time the meditation, your notes and the computers, I don't think so it will be helpful. In the session, in the meditation, your whole have to concentrate. You have to bring everything material within yourself. And so therefore, for that reason, we have to store lots of memory before that in our brain. And so therefore, I think this kind of effort, if you make, I think it becomes very powerful. Now, while you are, reading, focusing on the 70 topic, you might get like how that's related with the practice. You might get that kind of like a concept, I say, questioning. But 70 topic, which is the main subject of Mitriya's Abhisamaya Alamkara, is this. This is the essence of a Lamrim Chemo, I think. This is the essence of a Lamrim Chemo. When I look in the tradition in the Tibet, they memorize Abhisamayam Alankara and engaging in a middle way of Chantakirtis, these two texts, is pretty much covers essence of all Lamrim Chemo. Small scope, medium scope, and a great scope, all those things are pretty much the 70 topic. The Abhisamaya Alankara is covered by that, and from the wisdom chapter is particularly covered by Chandakirtis engaging in the middle way, Umala Jupa. And so therefore, to really understand Lamrim Chemo, since Lamrim is well known in the West, and the course in the Lamrim went so many times, and sometimes, I also hear, oh Lamrim, oh yeah, I know that Lamrim is done that many times, but if we want to go, if we want to scuba dive in the Lamrim Chemo, then we need 70 topics all around us. If we want to go really deep. Of course, if we just want to wind sailing in the Lamrim Chemo, then I think going through the outline and you have idea. Oh yeah, that's and that kind of like that. So it is to really understand Lamrim Chemo very deeply. Abhisamaya Alamkara is one of the very important. And then on top of that, in Samanamdil, Tamanavartika, Dhammakitis, those texts are like without those support, we are not able to really dig more deeper, to understanding deeper. We can't get. Although Lamrim Chemo have really, Lama Tsongkhapa tried very extensively, trying to bring, of course, sometimes the philosophical people are going to study philosophical things, and sometimes it lose energy or interest, maybe, to putting in a practice. And some individual person really, concentrating in a practice, and may lose the understanding. So therefore, these two, to Lama Tsongkhapa's effort is to composing in the Lamrim Chemo is to really to show up, to bring up all those philosophical study is meant to practice. All the practice have to be done based on a study, to make this kind of, to join together. To that purpose, Lama Tsongkhapa composed Lamrim Chemo and Lamrim Ding and all those kind of Lamrim texts. So therefore, for us, again, I heard, for us again, wisdom of hearing, wisdom of contemplating, and wisdom of meditation. These three are, this is kind of, there's no that we can jump, not having wisdom of studying or hearing, to jump in the wisdom of meditation. I think it's very important, very, very important to study, cultivating wisdom of hearing, töbe sherab. Then again, if you spend our whole life just study and never meditating, then I think it's really waste. So anyway, there's I heard, I don't know which, one of the president of the United States telling that if he have to cut chopping wood 8 hours a day, and he will sharp the axe, how you say that, axe, like a 5 hour, then he will cut 2 hours. If that makes sense. Without, very sharp axe, if you go to like 8 hours, you will waste your energy and all the time. So therefore, actually, purpose of studying is to the meditation. So, but if you, really like without the studying, to just go jumping in a meditation, it can be like an axe without sharp. So you might trying to chop the ignorance, but maybe ignorance become more intelligent than ourselves. Run here and there. So therefore, this is important. Why the study töbe sherab becomes important, but at the same time, we not forget it meant to apply for practice. So. One purpose of studying a 70 topic is that we will able to enhance our understanding in the Lamrim. And so therefore, then one thing is, within the 70 topic, there's lots of things are based on a Four Noble Truth. Lots of practice topics are based on a Four Noble Truth. And so therefore, it becomes very profound base to understanding, particularly in a medium scope. So therefore, of course, in more detail, things will come in later. Then, now, first of all, I want to a little bit reflect that Buddha Shakyamuni, 2,500 years before, first born in Lumbini, and still these days, you can go to go to pilgrimage, a very holy place. although place must be externally dusty, but if our faith is undusty enough, then really, really positive feeling in this kind of holy place. So Lumbini, which is the way Buddha's birthplace. Then mainly he did his practice and meditation in Gaya, where he did 6 years hardship. Then also later achieving enlightenment in Buddha Gaya, which is still a very holy place. Maybe most of you have been already over those holy places. And after enlightenment, Buddha gave teaching in Sarnath, which is quite close from Buddha Gaya. If you've been pilgrimage, you might be seeing those holy places. The first teaching when Buddha gave, although it's just 4 students. No, Korangade, 5 students. And teaching what he gave is mainly in the subject in Four Noble Truth, which is considered as a first turning of Wheel of Dharma. Then in the later, Buddha gave the teaching in Pangyana Paramita Sutra in Bolcho's fig, which is quite close from Buddha Gaya in Rajgir. Although when you go to that place, this is how can there all be like thousands and thousands in Bodhisattva? It's kind of like a small place on the top of the mountain, and there's several rocks kind of like poking up. When you're on the spot, you don't feel why it's considered as a vulture's peak, why it's labeled as like a vulture's. But maybe in the long distance, in one of the direction, maybe when you look, maybe you can see as a shape of a vulture. Maybe that kind of different reasons why it is labeled. So anyway, second turning of Wheel of Dharma was a teaching in a vulture peak in Rajgir, which is quite close from Bodh Gaya. Then the third turning of Wheel of Dharma Buddha gave in Vashila also is quite close to that area, close to from the Patna. However, Abhisamaya Alamkara, this Maitreya's Abhisamaya Alamkara, is rooted in the second turning of Wheel of Dharma. The second turning of Wheel of Dharma basically Buddha taught in the Pangyana Paramita Sutra. Pangyana Paramita Sutra directly Buddha taught it in a subject in emptiness, and implicitly also taught it in a subject in a method. Now, in a second turning of Wheel of Dharma, which is the direct subject was in a subject in emptiness, so therefore, basically, Nagarjuna commentated the direct subject in emptiness. So basically, Nagarjuna is one of the main commentator of the direct subject of the emptiness of the second turning of Wheel of Dharma or Pangyana Paramita Sutra. Now, the hidden meaning or implicitly teaching is given in the method side was commentated by Maitreya. Now, Maitreya's 5 major texts are most of them are commentaried of the hidden subject of the Pangyana Paramita Sutra. Now, of course, historically, Asanga, after doing long-term meditation and purification, able to meet, like a human to human Maitreya, and based on that, is historically Maitreya taught all those 5 major texts. Then Asanga brought all those teachings to in this earth in Zambuling. So therefore, Asangas. In another hand, Asanga have lots of commentary written in the method side also, and then somehow Nagarjuna there is some text also. There's a commentary in the method side, but the majority concentrated in the wisdom side, and so kind of interesting. Nagarjuna's responsibility and Asanga's responsibility to commentating the Buddha's sutras. Now, so Abhisamaya Alamkara, 70 topic, which is the subject of Abhisamaya Alamkara. This is 70 topic is also rooted to the second turning of will of Dhamma. So this is this connection, this continuity. I don't know, it is connection or continuity, or is rooted to the second turning of will of Dhamma. So this is one important. So from that point of view, 70 topic of Abhisamaya Alamkara considered as a Mahayana text. You won't say Mahayana Sutra, you say Mahayana text. This is two different things. Maitreya's Abhisamaya Alamkara, although there's some different, some debated, considers the Maitreya as a bodhisattva or the Maitreya as an enlightened being. This argues don't need, but in general scope, we say Maitreya is a Buddha, enlightened being, although his own teaching, his own composing text, such as like Abhisamaya Alamkara, is not considered as a sutra. Now, sutra and shastra, there's two different things. Again, sutra is a Sanskrit word, and shastra is also a Sanskrit word. But in Tibetan, we translate do and tenchu. Tenchu is a shastra. So Abhisamaya Alamkara is considered as a tenchu shastra. Those two different things is basically, and at this time, Shakyamuni Buddha, which is manifest as a Nirmanakaya in this planet, so therefore, whatever text or composed by Shakyamuni Buddha, composed by Shakyamuni Buddha, teaching given by Shakyamuni Buddha, is considered as a sutra, because in this planet at this time, manifesting as a Nirmanakaya, tulku. Choki Tulku is the only the Shakyamuni Buddha. So therefore, whatever teaching was given by Shakyamuni Buddha is considered as a sutra. Now, within the Nirmanakaya, there's several different. There's almost like three different things in Nirmanakaya. Nirmanakaya Choki Tulku, supreme Nirmanakaya. That is only right now is in this planet at this time only Shakyamuni Buddha. So therefore, his teachings as considered as a sutra. Now another living beings, another enlightened beings, another Nirmanakayas, Buddhas was manifesting as a Nirmanakaya, another Buddhas manifesting as a Sambhogakaya. Whatever teaching and the text which is composed by them is not considered as a sutra, is shastra. Denshu. This is the one thing. Now, the 70 topic when it's summarized, it is basically in the Kempa Sum Jowa Shi Devuchoku. It is in the Kempa Sum. Kempa Sum is the three no. What's the translation? Three no. Three no. because in Tibetan we have this two honorific way of saying and the regular way of saying. In English, you say everything in a normal way. So when you translate that and say three no, it's like so to hearing that. For me, kind of like a little bit strange, but of course, we have only that choice. So three no, three norbu, three no, knowers, three knowers. Now, three knowers. How it sounds for you? I'm just curious. Three knowers. The first is Kempa Sum. First is Namken. Namken, as a popular translation, is omniscient, but in the text, what's the translation?
Knower of all aspects.
No, in the text. Knower of all aspects. Knower of all aspects. Okay. Namke. Then Lamshi. Lamshi is the Lamshi is Lam as a path and Sheba as a know. Knowing the path? Knower of the path. Oh, it's now getting better. Knower of the path. Okay. Now Shishe. Shishe is she is the base and Sheba is knower. Knower the base? Oh, okay. Knower of the basis. Now, of course, it's kind of maybe now Abhisamaya Alamkara have 8 chapters. In the first chapter, mainly discussing the knowable omniscient about that, Namken. And the second chapter is a knower of a path, Lamshe. And third chapter is a knower of a base, Shishe. Let's go. Then fourth chapter basically discuss in a Namzo Joa. How you translate that? Complete training in the aspect. Namzo Joa. This is in the fourth chapter. And the fifth chapter is Tsemi Joa, training of a pig. Pig training. We'll just go roughly first. We'll just go. What's chapter is discussing in which topic? So we'll go that first. Then in the sixth chapter in Abhisamaya Alamkara is Namzo Jowa, Tsemi Jowa, Targi Jowa. Targi Jowa as a training in serial training. Serial training. That's the fifth chapter. Then sixth, Takijo. Then seventh, Kechimijo. In momentary training. Kechimijo. Then eighth chapter is Devuchoku, the Dhammakaya. Dhammakaya? Resultant truth body. So now there's 8 chapter. Each, the first 3 we say Kempasum, 3 no. Then the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th chapter is basically the subject we call like Joashi, 4 actions, 4 training. Then 8th chapter is the result, Devuchoku. Now 70 topic, when it is 70, and the first, within the 3 no's, the first is the omniscient, Namkin. It have 10 different topics, aspect, or 10 different things. Lamshi, second know is the knowing the path. Chukchi, 11 different topics within that. Then in the third, Shishi, all-knowing basis, have a Chudang Chukchi Gu, 9 different topics. If the daytime you were working in accounting, so then now it's like another time to apply that talent. Okay, Chudang Chuchi Gu Chuchi Gu. Then in the fourth, the Namso Jowa training in complete training in aspect. It have a Chudang Chuchi Gu 11 different topic. Chudang Chuchi Gu Chuchi. Then Ge peak training of peak. They have 8 different type of topic. Chudang Chuchi Gu Chuchi Gedan. Chuksum Semijo Targi Jowa serial training. Chudang Chuchi Gu Chuchi Gedan. I think 13 different type of topic. Gedan. Then Kejimijoa. Kejimijoa was the momentary training. It's a 4. Then Jebuchoku have a 4. So from that, the 70 topic, when it's 70, is divided from that angle. Is just get to how the 70. We have 8 chapter. Abhisama Alamkara have 8 chapter. So each chapter, first chapter divided in 10, second chapter 11, third chapter 9, like that way. Then the fourth chapter Chudang Chuji Gu 11, Gu then fifth chapter Chudang Chuji Gu Chuji Ge 8 different type of topic. So it goes like that way. So it comes to 70 topic. Is that? So now the question comes. Now let's go first. Omniscient, of course, you all know the mind of enlightenment, the Buddha's mind. We call the omniscient mind, Namkhe, which is a result of completing accumulation of a merit, virtue, and wisdom virtue. Tsogni, result of that omniscient mind. So sometimes there is like a debating within the different philosophical schools. From way in Sarah we call Buddha's sense consciousness also omniscient mind. Buddha's not only the mental consciousness but all the sense consciousness as considered as omniscient mind. But in some different schools, as not the Buddha's sense consciousness are not the omniscient mind, but only the mental consciousness as considered as an enlightened mind. So there's a slight difference. But I heard some kind of story that Jizumba, the Yiksha author of the Seraje, he's the one of the main strongly viewing that all the Buddha's consciousness, including sense consciousness, are the enlightened omniscient mind. Because of that kind of his belief and faith and a positive karmic result, in one of his reincarnation time, he was able to read the text without looking by eye consciousness. I don't know, at that time they have this training. These days you have this training, I say you can read by the fingers, but not that kind of thing. That's the way of saying like that. So anyway, omniscient, that it is popular. That is kind of like not so very difficult to define. The second one, lamshi, knowing the path, know a path. Now, This is like a this is like a uh, know of the path is like a the individual practitioner, once we're able to cultivate direct realization in emptiness, and also it is strongly supported and held by compassion and bodhicitta mind, then that kind of realization is as mentioned as like lamshe, knower of the path. Uh, Basically, lamsheba means that once individual person, practitioners, once we get direct realization in emptiness and have a training in compassion, then the individual practitioner genuinely, wanting to understand, wanting to practice in all path. So lam sheba means wanting to know all the path. Again, this is kind of interesting things. In the Tibetan Buddhism tradition, there's some great teachers wants to really concentrate in one tradition, and some great teachers wants to explore for all the tradition, kind of like concept of non-sectarian, and they support the philosophical or the root. They take this lamshe, this second knower, the all as a knower of the path. When Buddha described this concept of a knower of a path, lamshe, when Buddha described this in the sutra, this Buddha's mentioned lamtamji kebarcha, lamtamji shebarcha. Lamtamji kebarcha means cultivate entire path. Lamtamji shebarcha, try to understand the entire path. Tadage lamji chawayang chala, and apply this all in the practice. So this Buddha's statement is sutra's statement is basically the teaching of a second knower, lamsheba, knower of the path. Basically, once individual practitioner have a genuine compassion and also direct realization in a reality, then there's a naturally wanting to understand and a practice and a guidance for another sentient beings, to able to guidance for the another sentient beings, they themselves have to practice in all path and have to know all the path. Therefore, second knower, this in second lamsheba, is one of the very important arhat Buddha. I say, Pakpa, how you translate? Pakpa. Arya Bodhisattva's realization. Arya Bodhisattva's realization. So, second, so lamshe. Now, the third is shisheba. Shisheba means knowing the base. Now, that is basically practitioners, once practitioners just not necessarily have to, the realization was a support by compassion or method side, but basically knowing the reality, selflessness of a person, selflessness of a phenomena, emptiness of a self, emptiness of I, emptiness of a me, and emptiness of a my. Basically, this kind of like basis, shisheba. So there's these three things: namke, lamshe, shishe, kembasum. Now, when we look from the Lamrim point of view, of course, the first namkin is the ultimate goal of a practicing a gradual path to the enlightenment. Is the namkin and the result. Then the second, the lamshe, the know of the path is basically in the great scope. It's mainly discussed it in the great scope. The reason, as I mentioned earlier, the concept of a compassion and the concept of a wisdom, realizing emptiness, was mainly discussed in the great scope. So, second topic, lamshe, is mainly expressed that's in the great scope. Then shishe, the third one, third novel, all I say, know the base, that was mainly discussed in a medium scope and also in a small scope. Now, in the medium scope, of course, it just talks about the selflessness within the Four Noble Truth, and also in a small scope, there's a lot of teaching in trying to see as a phenomenon of nature but impermanent, and so that also serves as an understanding of a base. So these three knowers, Kempa Sum, three knower. Three knower. When individual person really trying to cultivate those qualities in our mental continuum, of course, first shishe. First, shishe means the knowing the base. Then maybe later the lamshe, knowing the path. Then ultimately, final result, namki, omniscient mind. Now, where Maitreya present, even the result was the first, presenting the namki, the omniscient mind was the first. And then the second, to really, individual, kind of like an interesting, in the anytime in the world, in the television, when they make an advertisement, first they will say how the result was good. The result was the first. If you just explain the cause first, nobody will be interested. Nobody wants to buy the product. So of course you have to show that first the result. This is the result. This is the easiest way and the quickest way, and this is the best way. So it's kind of like a same kind of idea. Maitreya showed the omniscient in the first chapter, trying to discuss in the omniscient mind. Is this again purposes the disciples to ducha devula droakeba means enthusiasm, to cultivating enthusiasm to the result. For that reason, Buddha Maitreya first chapter trying to discuss the omniscient within the three know. The first one's the omniscient. Then, of course, now if you want that, then as like a normal way, then you should send your credit card first as soon as possible. It's kind of then they say, okay, then you have to practice in the wisdom, not as a simple wisdom, but the ultimate wisdom to knowing the reality and the method side. It comes, and then that's not only enough. Knowing the base first, you have to have understanding the reality. So it shows kind of like a another way of showing graduate path. This is the one thing. Now, within the now, Maitreya, in the first, when he tried to talk about the omniscient mind, in the first chapter, he's trying to talk about the bodhicitta mind. The omniscient mind have 10 different type of category or topics when it discuss about the omniscient mind. The first is the bodhicitta. Now, Abhisamaya Alamkara is, at the beginning, it is mostly discussing in a great scope. in the great scope. It starts from the bodhicitta, and then it goes uh, uh, how to how you say, how to, if to obtain the enlightenment, then we have to have a cultivate the bodhicitta. To cultivate the bodhicitta, first of all, we have to have a special instruction, and that's become the second topic. So again, when we say there's like a 10 different type of a topic when we're trying to discuss the omniscient mind, again, that is not really 10 different type of omniscient mind. It's not talking about namkin tsunjegi chu chu. There's like a 10 topic of how you translate that? Namkin tsunjegi chu chu. Namkin tsunjegi chu chu. 10 topic of huh? So anyway, it doesn't mean there's a 10 different type of omniscient mind. It doesn't mean that. Basically, it's now my English, the budgets are running out. My English become bankrupt. So anyway, there's when within the three knowers, the first knower is omniscient mind. There's 10 different type of topic categories, 10 different type of categories. These all are not omniscient mind. The reason why it says a category of 10 different type of category of omniscient mind, the reason is this whole 10 different type of categories, it describes how to obtain the enlightened mind. The process of cultivating, process of obtaining the enlightened mind. It is roughly it discussed on that topic. From that angle, it mentioned as a 5 different type of topic. It doesn't mean that there's a 10 different type of omniscient mind. It doesn't mean that. Now, the first is the bodhicitta, simgye. And now, if you have a study in the Lamrim, or most of you may be more familiar, enlightened mind, bodhicitta. Sometime now, this is kind of important when it's a renunciation, refuge, practice of refuge, and bodhicitta. These have so many mental categories, different type of mental category, putting together, then there is a concept of a bodhicitta. Like an example, when we say, thought of renunciation, that means there is a renouncing for the suffering and the cause of the suffering, but after that there is a wishing to obtain the liberation. There's some kind of excitement exist. Hold this picture together, then it's labeled as a renunciation. If you have a kind of strong version of a kind of seeing as a negative towards to the suffering and the cause of suffering, and trying to, to avoiding or wishing to liberate, and this kind of only mind, I think, doesn't complete the concept of renunciation. Renunciation have to have a two-part, renouncing and wishing to obtain liberation, nirvana, as two together, renunciation. Now, when you say practice of refuge, cultivating only the faith towards the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha is not completed. First of all, we have to have some type of a healthy fear towards to the lower rebirths, based on a karmic and cause and effects understanding. Based on that, then there's something willing to have a protection, wanting to have a protection because Buddhas are powerful being. If you go from that angle, it just doesn't complete the whole picture of a refuge. Refuge is there's some kind of like a renouncing from the lower rebirth. Then, based on that, willing to take a protection from the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. All this picture together becomes a practice of refuge. Now, likewise, when we say meditation in a bodhicitta, the simkye, willing to obtain the enlightenment, that kind of mental attitude is the only, that kind of mental attitude doesn't complete the concept of a bodhicitta. Concept of bodhicitta have to have a kind of like a two kind of it have to have a strong feeling of willing to benefit another sentient being, and based on that, willing to obtain the Buddhahood. So all these two together, kind of purpose of benefiting for another, and wishing to obtain the Buddhahood. These two together, then concept of a bodhicitta is completed. This is kind of interesting. In a Tibetan word, we use semkye. One is the label. One we use changjugi sem. Changjugi sem is more emphasizing from the result point of view. Semkyeba means it is more from, not from the result point of view. I think it's more from the beginner practitioner at the beginning, beginner practitioners, when they're trying to extend their mental attitudes, really trying to throw out the egotistic, self-cherishing mind, which generally speaking it close up. So simkeba means extensive, more opening. Simkyeba means like extending the mind. Extending the mind in terms over here is from the result point of view. Also, we can think a little bit, and also for the sentient being, the purpose, why we're going to do, why we are willing to obtain the enlightenment, Buddhahood. It's for purpose for all living beings, all sentient beings. So there's a simkye. From that angle, is this kind of, I think from both those angles we can check it. Then, roughly talking, Damga, the second topic within the omniscient mind. Omniscient Nam can have 10 different type of topic. First is the bodhicitta. Second is the Dhamma, special instruction. Now, for this Dhamma, usually now in the sometime there's a within in the Tibetan Buddhism sometimes there's a little bit how to define the Dhamma, the special instruction. Sometime, there's a Lama Tsongkhapa. He himself composed 18 volume, commentary in a Sutrayana and commentary in a Mantrayana. In some scholars within the Tibetan tradition, there's no another special instruction than the 18 volume of Lama Tsongkhapa. That is the special instruction. there's nothing kind of special, kind of small text that which just doesn't exist within the 18 volume, and there's something you can get separate, kind of like some scholar. If it's a special if it's a Dhamma, it should be within the 18 volume of Lama Tsongkhapa. There shouldn't be like that. And also, there's when we see the Lama Tsongkhapa's statue, there's a in the lotus, there's a one volume you can see, and sometimes there's a user saying this is the Ningyu Tube Lebam. Tube Lebam means Tube Lebam. Lebam is like a tax. Tube Lebam, I don't know how to translate that. And if we are able to see that text, then not necessary to go to study the 18 volume of Lama Tsongkhapa. Within that is have the key to. So there's some scholars, some practitioners have in the Lama Tsongkhapas and the lotus, right? There's that text is the special instruction. Entire is there. Once we're able to, due to our own purification and accumulation practice, once we're able to see that, no more we have to go through hardships. And there's this kind of things. So basically, Lama Tsongkhapa, he himself mentioned in a Lamrim, special instruction doesn't mean that from some kind of not existent within the Buddha's teaching, and something that from verbal to verbal, kind of like a secret lineage. And that kind of things Lama Tsongkhapa mentioned very clearly. Special instruction doesn't mean for that. There's nothing separate special instruction within the whatever exists in the sutras and the shastras. So when it's in Tibetan word, Dhamma and Menga, Dhamma and Menga, those kind of things. Last time when I met my father, and he have a small text with a written, very ancient, and he said, this is very, I said, special instruction of a practice. And then we start to argue. So anyway, there's when it's a special instruction, that is, I think, the Dhamma concept of that is important to understand. It is if things that doesn't exist within the 18 volume, if things doesn't exist in the Buddha's Kangyus, in the Tengyu, then there's no special instruction. So it should be within those things. So concept of special instruction should be in that category. Dhamma. Now, in that category over here, now, in a way of cultivating bodhicitta mind, there's one is from the Chantakiti way, and one is the Shantideva's way. And within the Shantideva, there's a practice that existing, exchanging self and another. And for that, there's sometime in the Shantideva's text, there's a Samyan Dambas, secret special instruction, because some individual practitioners not able to digest or understand or take that exchanging self and another. Based on that, cultivating bodhicitta mind. From that angle point of view, there's a Samyan Damba, secret special instruction. So, however, over here, to cultivate the first category of omniscient mind, which is over here, is a bodhicitta mind. To to individual practitioners to able to cultivate that, we have to have a guidance. Again, with a reading only the text and with only your own kind of research, without guidance by the qualified teachers, it is how you say the gaining I say generating the realization, it will be much more difficult. So I think the second topic in a Dhamma, that means to really to obtain to able to cultivate the bodhicitta mind, we need to have a special instruction, Dhamma, special instruction. For that, we have to have a special instructor. Therefore, in the concept of guru devotion, or Lamrim's guru devotion, becomes very important. Are you there? So I think I'll better to stop. Yeah. Better to stop. Basically, today we just discuss where how we divide the 70 topic relation to the Abhisamaya Alamkaras, each chapter, chapter by chapter, and the Abhisamaya Alamkara itself, where it's rooted in Buddha's teaching, within the three training with Dhamma, where it's rooted. We discussed on that a little bit, and we discussed a little bit about the concept of omniscient mind, and sutras and shastras. What's the difference on those things, and also way of a presentation given by Maitreya in the first and second and third chapter. Those are the three no's. Way of ordering. How Maitreya's presentation giving in the three no's. What's the reason behind ordering that level? We talk about that a little bit. Then we talk about a little bit about the concept of a bodhicitta, which is again trying to get like concept of renunciation, concept of a refuge, to give the whole picture how we're going to. We discuss a little bit on that, and also special instruction Dhamma, concept of that. We discussed a little bit. So in the do you have the these texts? Most people you have that. So in the next time maybe we're trying to go a little bit with a definition and categories a little bit go together. Then how that works, we'll see. Then, of course, I will try my best trying to combine, to apply, to make a connection with the Lamrim topic as much as I'll try. As today, also we're trying to connect how the Lamrim and the three no's, this kind of, how they have relation. We talked about that a little bit also. So as much try to, I'll bring back to Lamrim topic, those 70 topics, and what's the relation between Lamrim. All the time I'm going to make that effort. And I will suggest, if individual person, all of you, if you can do some kind of like a meditation, first meditation relation with the omniscient mind. It's a meditation in a bodhicitta. For that, most of you have heard it in the Lamrim teachings. Chandakiti way of doing is a 6 course, and the result, result includes 7 cause and effect that way, and also Shantideva way of exchanging self and another. So I will suggest to doing meditation in a bodhicitta. If you're able to do short meditation, any time, that will be really good. And then, if you for the special instruction and Dhamma, we talked about a little bit on that. If you're able to do, I will suggest contemplate of the quality of the disciples, how we listen for the dhammas, what's the obstacles, and what kind of attitude we should carry. Maybe reflect on that. That can be also part of the homework of understanding of a special instruction. So then in the future, maybe we'll make a more like an organized instruction to the meditation instruction, and the topic which is related with this and the Lamrim. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Chanchu Semju Rinpoche Mange Banam Gengyurji Keba Nyamba Membaya Supreme jewels, bodhicitta, that has not risen and grew to diminishing continuous Jambel Baunjeda Gambadha Kundu Sambune Nijende Denda Gwingin Jizundanuj Kevandeda Tanje Ramdu. Just as the Prajamanshi and Samanda Braja to rest the things as they are, I too dedicate all this merits and follow this to Zon Shek Ben Yawatam Jegi Wavagamban Chodo Abad Dagin Geven Zawandeng Sambun Jiramdu I dedicate all those roots of virtues with the dedication praise as the best. By the victory of those gone one of those 3 times, so I might perform the good words.